to innovate. And when we give this kind of importance to the mind of our children, then we think things are going right. We have playgrounds to play. We have some cultural extracurricular activities in colleges. Fine. But you think that ये past time है, ये तो ऐसा है, main तो classroom में पढ़ना है. नहीं, ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. वो सब चीजें साथ में ही होनी चाहिए. स्पोर्ट्स क्या खेला है तो स्पोर्ट्स क्लास में आके डिस्कस होगा. कौन कैसे गया, कौन कैसा उठा, वो स्पोर्ट्स का डिस्कशन होना चाहिए क्लास में. कैरी एक्स्ट्रा करिकुलर एक्टिविटीज का कल इवेंट हुआ है तो नेक्स्ट डे क्लासेस में डिस्कशन होना चाहिए कि कल के प्रोग्राम में हमने गेस्ट से क्या समझा, जो मास्टर गेस्ट आया था उससे क्या सुना, जब प्रोग्राम हुआ था वो क्या हुआ. क्या किसी यूनिवर्सिटी ने किया ऐसे? प्रोग्राम किया पैकअप, प्रोग्राम किया पैकअप, स्पोर्ट्स हुआ पैकअप. नो सर, वी हैव टू थिंक बियॉन्ड इट. वी हैव टू टेक इट फर्दर. वी हैव टू डू पोस्टमार्टम, पोस्ट इवेंट्स. We should do that. And that is how, the way we will think, that is how, this is the way to think to how you create a new model of education. Otherwise, new model of education तो मैं 60 से सुन रहा हूँ. 65 वाला बोलता है 60 को ओवर किया, 70 वाला बोलता है 60 को किया, 80 वाला बोलता है कि after every 10 years you come with a new model, but actually you go on repeating the same model because you are used to yourself. The policy maker himself is educated in a certain format, and you think this is the ideal. The policy maker I am talking about. I'm talking about the teacher. I'm talking about the educationist who's designing the whole education, who's relating to the students with this. This is extremely important for us to understand this. And that is how, where we join media and entertainment skill. And me, myself, being from the world of art and entertainment, media and entertainment, I'm here. And being a member of the Media and Entertainment Skill Council. And that is why all initiatives are derived by the media and entertainment to emphasis on this, what I am saying. We call it skill developments. हाँ, अगर मुझको खाना बनाना सीखना है तो मैंने बनाना सीख लिया, लेकिन खाना बनाने के साथ मैं उसको स्वाद कैसे बना सकता हूँ, वो मेरी हैप्पीनेस से है, वो मुझे लोगों के मुस्कुराहट से है. मैं खाना बना के जब खिला रहा हूँ, मेरी जो मुस्कुराहट है खाने वाले को, जो रिलेशनशिप है, वो बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट है. मेरा खाना उसको और भी अच्छा लगेगा और उसका स्वास्थ्य अच्छा होगा. खाली मैंने रेसिपी सीख के और वो करके खाना बना के फेंक दिया, नो. That is called being +1. Skill development मतलब कि दे दो सर्टिफिकेट जाओ, दे दो सर्टिफिकेट जाओ, छापो और जाओ. नहीं, समझो, मोहब्बत भी एक चीज है, कम्युनिकेशन एक चीज है, कंपैशन एक चीज है, हेल्पिंग अदर्स एक चीज है. To understand the trainees, is a most important part of the teacher and trainer is that he must understand the student first. जैसे डॉक्टर, ग्रेट डॉक्टर, गुड डॉक्टर में ये फर्क होता है कि गुड डॉक्टर कैन प्रिस्क्राइब एग्जैक्ट मेडिसिन व्हाट यू नीड, एंड ग्रेट डॉक्टर इज he will talk to the patient personally as a friend. He will ask him about his history. He will ask him about the personal nature, personal psychology, and then he will decide about the medicine, not as per the prescriptions. That's called a great doctor. Great doctor leaves a great feeling in the mind of a patient. And that's how we teachers should be. That's how the policy maker should be. हमने जो कह दिया वो कह दिया. हमारी कमेटी में 12 में से 11 ऑर्डिनरी आदमी भी हो सकते हैं, तो क्या करेंगे? कमेटी ने पास कर दिया. सब मंथन तो होना चाहिए उसका, सर. That's what I say. And we are glad that we are having this kind of manthans today. And I'm sure that we are going to have a great input from all the valued and esteemed guests we are having. They are Vice-Chancellor from Kashmir, from Kerala. And now I'm so happy to see now in Kashmir how we can promote emotional integration with the people of Kashmir through the music, through the drama, through the plays. Kashmir has a great music, and they are great music lover, great movie lover. Develop institutes, develop a school, develop a musical school there, drama school over there. Give them the paintings. Involve them with the nature. They belong, they are the children of nature. Even they are studying engineering, even they are studying law or medicine, but make a very important part, integral part of the whole courses. That is what my request to all of you. And thank you very much for your time. I will meet you next. Dhanyavad.
Thank you, sir, for the golden words, and it really means a lot to us, sir. Every time when we hear you, sir, a lot of learning. And honestly, sir, you have such a wonderful human being, sir, that just to be in your company, it gives such positivity, such kind of hope, such kind of motivation for us that we can't even express it in words, sir. Having a guru like you, sir, is something which we are really blessed with, and I'm very honored, sir, that we work under your guidance and your direction, sir. It's always a privilege, and it means really a lot to us, sir. Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot for your kind words, sir.
Pardon to interrupt you. I have never been a guru. I have always been a student till the end of my life, because there's so much to learn from all of you. From children even you learn a lot. You can never be a guru.
Sir, your words, sir, your words, your kindness actually means a lot, sir. And we really see a big in you, sir, a big mentor, a big guide. And certainly, sir, if I being given the liberty to say that, a great friend as well, sir, whom we can openly talk, discuss, share with all our concerns and seek your solutions.
Friend, I am great.
So I would say that's a great.
Subhash knows that. We are great friends. Thank you. Please carry on. Next.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. So now may I request Chaitanya to please, come across and share with us a small presentation to set the momentum for the meeting. Chaitanya, are you there?
Yeah.
Great. So Chaitanya, over to you.
I have to leave in 5 minutes. So I'll try and
I'm
do
sure
this.
5 minutes is more for Chaitanya.
Okay. Mohit, actually, it'll be better if I come back in the end and do it, because bhi jaldi mein karna padega nahi to.
Yeah, yes.
As in you suggest.
I think you can come later. Yeah, you can come
later is better, because both Subhaji and me have to get on a call in about 5 minutes. Okay?
Sure.
Okay,
sure.
Sorry, but just timings went all off.
So thank you, Chaitanya. I look forward to have you back in the session quickly as soon as you finish up your meeting with Honorable Minister, sir, and then we can have your presentation in detail. May I request our real mentor, the real guide of helping us and supporting us always with our university connections, academic institutions, our Subba Rao sir, our dear Subba Rao sir, to please share his insight views on Manthan, the Impeccable Academy, and also an insight on the importance of integrating skill-oriented model in the formal education, sir. Sir, your mic is off, sir.
I'm audible, I hope.
Yes, sir. Now you're audible. Thank you.
Very, very hearty good morning to all of you, the esteemed panelists. And you just don't know how much pleasure I derive purely by being in the presence of Subhash ji, because his benign calmness and his tons of experience and imagination and creativity, all that he unfolds so effortlessly before all of us with so much fondness and concern, that it really inspires everyone into doing something extra, something creative. Creativity is our field right now. Media and entertainment is nothing but creativity on a continuous basis. It was, when were we not creative? All along our minds had unlimited dimensions and frontiers. When sage Vishwamitra had to send Trishanku to heaven, when Lord Indra rejected him and sent him down, Vishwamitra created another heaven just for Trishanku's sake, which means Srushti ka prati Srushti kiya, which means such concepts were prevalent in that time also. How can the mind cross the immediate environments and the borders which are imposed upon our mind? There are no borders. All those borders can be dispelled. That is this field of creativity. Anybody can do just about anything. That is it. Nothing is impossible. It is just a path towards making great things happen. Look at our technology. The great minds have come in, and technology and capital are now chasing great minds to carry the filmmaker's vision to the logical, to the creative extreme, to the cinematic extreme. So now in that particular context, if you have to look at our task in front of us today, creativity, media, and entertainment have to be adjusted into a particular context of priorities, the priorities of the education system, the priorities of society, and the priorities of the country. So each one of us is playing different roles as vice-chancellors of universities, as heads of media and entertainment sector skill councils, then as service providers, and then as entrepreneurship builders. Everybody has their role, and this field of media and entertainment, to give an example, which Subhash was telling some time back, cooking, making food. Making food, the very act of making food, by itself, it is an art, yes. The moment you bring it onto screen, you attach a small few lines, a tune to it, and a dash of humor to it, then it gets into the fold of media entertainment. So just about every little thing on this earth, even a farmer plowing his field, you attach a small tune to it and you incorporate a particular message to it, then that's the domain of media and entertainment. Everywhere we fit in, everywhere into every aspect, every policy, every social priority can be depicted using this media and entertainment. So we are there everywhere. And now the latest, all due to COVID. I mean, COVID's transformation has nearly what is going to happen, say, after 15 years, has suddenly started happening in 15 days or 1 month or one and a half months. Things had to be done at rapid speed, at blind speed. Whether it's artificial intelligence or anything like that. Artificial intelligence was supposed to be a concept which will gradually seep into the system after, say, 5 to 10 years, but it happened within a few months. And now they're flooded all over the place. So similarly, our media and entertainment has now come into the OTT space, into the television now. There's a gradual, smooth and very fast shift that has taken place. So into this, we have to fit in so many things, social priorities, educational priorities, everything. So what I'm saying is, potentially as a business opportunity, as a skilling opportunity, skilling requirement rather than opportunity. Skilling is an opportunity for the service providers, but it's a requirement for India. It is there everywhere. We have a humongous potential. Only thing is how to harness it through the online mechanisms which are available at the moment. The Media and Entertainment Council, Sector Skill Council has been doing a tremendous job, right from the very inception, about a year and a half ago or so. We decided at that point of time that for anything to be possible, to be done in an organized way, where industry gains, society gains, and the people being skilled also gain, it has to be rooted through the education system. This will lend an organized touch to the whole process. The certification, the assessment, everything comes through a credible channel. That is the reason why we thought, and it clicked in a very big way. We were doing it with one or two other sector skill councils also, but the media entertainment MESC has been the most active, has been easily the most active of the lot. And by and large, they have shot ahead of the game. And the moment the education system comes to adopt these skilling practices and embeds them in the form of degree apprenticeship courses. Now, any skill-based activity without internship or apprenticeship loses its touch and effectiveness. There's no doubt about that, because learning on the job, experiential learning, and then for a creative field like media entertainment, graphics or AR, VR or animation or anything like that, it's all about life projects. And then finally, at some stage, for a short while, you have to work with the industry itself. And therefore, this particular field where it cannot be done in the confines of a classroom, and therefore, a lot of it can take place within the physical comfort zone of the house also through the online mode. Whereas at some stage, the industry exposure also is introduced conveniently. So we should not treat COVID as something which is come to impede our processes. It has impeded to the extent of making us require some time to effect the adjustments that are needed. Our entire follow-up with institutions was going in a particular way, the physical mode and so on, suddenly shifting it to the online mode, video conferencing mode, the bonding, the physical bonding is suddenly missing. So we have to now accept this as the method of communication in future. So now if you're watching Netflix as comfortably as going to PVR and not slowly beginning not to feel the difference. So this will also happen. Online education, online learning of media entertainment skills, this is also easily possible. And the industry exposure apprenticeship can take place with the appropriate social distancing at different points of time. So people are now learning to regroup themselves through the virtual mode. That is happening now. And so it's time for us to restart our business once again, both with the education system, both with the plethora of service providers across the country. And what is very important in our media and entertainment is that it is not just employment oriented, it is also entrepreneurship oriented. In fact, bulk of it is entrepreneurship oriented. And all these creative people like to be free, work in their own domains, and then go. They're like freelancers. They're like very effective freelancers, and they wouldn't like to be bound to any particular person. And that is the way we have seen the best of them function in that manner. So we have to accept that as also a business model, and then go ahead. It's entrepreneurship oriented. Now, how to align these courses? It has to be recognized formally as a vertical in the education system. That is very, very important. We have been trying to push that while I was in the Ministry of HRD. I have tried to get a certain few universities set up full-fledged departments of media and entertainment. In fact, Central University of Hyderabad has a department of entertainment, filmmaking, and so on. I was talking to Professor Parao those days. And like that, more and more universities should act, because this is one of the most job-oriented sectors, apart from being a very fertile and vibrant sector for the future. Because this just about accommodates every possible development that can take place is now going to be captured through the OTT mode, to the TV mode, to the online mode. We step in at every of those stages. We step in at all our skills are going to be required at every of these. And to those skills, if you can add your own creative touch, then nobody can stop you. Because ultimately, creativity is the field. Therefore, universities should now start more and more departments. I see that there are central universities today on the panel, and if there were state universities today, because state universities have a lot of affiliated colleges with them. So that is where the segment lies for the growth of this particular field. These colleges, more and more colleges, the state universities should encourage at least 10 colleges each under them, every state university. There are about 800 of them, say, state universities. Out of these 800, you pick up 100 good state universities, and each of them identifies 10 good colleges to start our media and entertainment courses. This can easily be coordinated. UGC can take it up. UGC itself has of late begun to realize the importance of not just skilling, but for the need for skilling to be conducted in an organized manner through the education system. Because the mushrooming of so many small skilling centers has not really helped the country. Because we know there are a whole lot of, everybody's familiar with the problems of having those multiple providers without too much of an identity for themselves. But then because there is nobody else, the industry goes to them. So once it comes through the education system, shepherded by the media and entertainment MESC, then industry will come to accept this as the most credible channel for media and entertainment courses. So UGC incidentally has issued very, very favorable guidelines for carrying out these apprenticeship embedded degree courses. Now any college can, or any university can offer a degree, a BSc in, say, animation, a BSc in graphics, a BSc in filmmaking. You just put the parenthesis, the skill should be in parenthesis. The degree can be one of the approved nomenclatures of UGC. And even if you want to offer a very creative nomenclature for the course, you can approach UGC in writing a few months before, and that will go. And the duration, course content, everything is in a dynamic way, and the Sector Skill Council is free to design it in understanding with the concerned university, because it is a degree giving university which has absolute flexibility over the course content. So industry can participate in that through the Sector Skill Council and drive it. The whole thing will be aligned to the market. All those flexibilities are there. It is all a question of people getting together to take up these at the required bandwidth across the country, because the demand for skills in the MESC field is huge, is humongous. It is just that the rightly skilled people, we are not able to push them forward into the system. We have to introduce the right people into the system. So here the education system has to really respond in a big way. When we were last counting the numbers, there were more than 100 colleges in the country which were offering our BScs in various skills. Now Mr. Mohit will have to design an MBA in media and entertainment so that the central universities can offer these postgraduate courses. And those MBAs, if they are linked into an integrated BSc cum MBA program in media and entertainment, then the central universities can directly offer those courses. Central universities also. And that we also have the deemed universities. We have about 127 deemed universities, which are private universities, which have far more flexibility. They can also take it up. So we can possibly in the next month, and you can just simply have it with only the deemed universities, call all the 125 of them. And then you can put forward some of these courses in a structured manner so that they are faster in their decision making, because they are bound by a different set of rules. So they'll respond faster to such things. Central universities, yes, they can. They'll have to have independent, full-fledged departments of media and entertainment as a proper vertical, and then offer these integrated courses. And there are hardly any other than Delhi University. I don't think any other central university has affiliated colleges all over the country. That's a huge constraint actually. And maybe UGC should. We had put this forward to UGC when I was in the HRD ministry those days, that if a central university wants to have a set of set up some satellite centers around its own operational area, it should be permitted to do so, especially for skill embedded courses, not for general education, but for these skill embedded courses. The institutions of eminence, the IUEs, are permitted to do so. So Banaras Hindu University, JNU, Delhi University, Central University of Hyderabad, they can they can set up separate campuses also outside as far as these skill courses are concerned, offer a different basket of degrees also. But for the regular university to do so, that as far as skilling is, confining it to skills, one can approach UGC. It doesn't need any amendment to any act. It can come as a form of a notification. This can be taken up. I had raised this with the UGC chairman about a year ago. It is definitely a workable thing, because the new education policy is now giving a lot of importance to vocational education, vocation-linked education, and that too starting from class 6 onwards. So if from class 6 onwards, you're going to integrate skilling into education, by the time the students pass out of class 12, very soon, in about 2-3 years time, you'll have about 1 crore people suddenly coming into the higher education system wanting vocational education, because they would have decided midway that it's not, I did not do a BA in sociology or a BA in economics just because I'm not having any other avenue. Now I've been trained in the MESC field or the logistic field or the beauty and wellness field. I've come out. I would like to do a skill course, like it happens in China, a small country like Switzerland. There are absolutely separate verticals for skill education, separate verticals for general education. So if this policy of integrating skills into education from class 6 is going to really be implemented in seriousness, at least from next year onwards, within 2 years, there'll be a huge demand generated for vocational education from the higher education onwards, which we are not ready for at the moment. Immediately, we are not ready. So central universities will have a role to play, and UGC will have to liberalize its guidelines, allowing central universities to get into the foray in a big way, in a very big way. They will be required to do so, the 40 central universities. And moreover, the task before us right now is to generate trainers. Suddenly today, if you want to train 2 lakh people in media and entertainment, do we have the trainers for it? No, we don't. So our numbers are also circumscribed. The intake capacity is also circumscribed at the moment. So we have to parallelly carry out a major activity for capacity building across the country. For this, the Ministry of Skill Development should be approached, because there must be through NSDC some funding mechanism by which you will have to immediately generate, say, about 10,000 trainers. Suppose Mohit should undertake this task. Instead of depending on service providers, in these educational institutions and universities, you should undertake capacity building programs so that those who are instituting their own departments of media and entertainment, they should also be trained. The NSDC, through the NSDC, you should get some funding to the university so that this capacity is a must. It should be generated across the segment of skills, and more so media and entertainment, because it's a skill which everybody wants. They take to at a very young age. So it's one of the attractive fields, and it permeates across every segment. Because graphic designers and all that, they're required. Just like IT professionals, MESC professionals are also required across the entire spectrum of activities. So these are the few things that I had in mind, and these 100-odd colleges where degree apprenticeship has been introduced, I'm sure they will set the tone for adoption of such courses in future also. And these are possibly the ways in which we should go ahead. And there are many entrepreneurship development institutions in the country, NISBUD, and several others spread across. Many state governments have also started. Media entrepreneurship courses, a module has to be developed, say a 6 months course or a 6 to 8 months course on entrepreneurship in the media sector, so that people who learn these skills simultaneously also learn the techniques by which, the skills by which they can start their own independent enterprises. And banks should also be involved in the whole process, so that the bank loans, the venture capital, whatever it is that for their startups is permitted. So startup culture has to be also integrated into the media and entertainment. Through entrepreneurship courses, it can be done. Pure skills to startups may be a little difficult, because the skill guys are, these creative guys are in a different mold themselves. Not all of them make good entrepreneurs. They're too moody and whatnot they become. So not everybody, every creative person can be a Subhash, who combines every particular skill and is a master in the field. That's why you see the Ram Lakhans and Pardeses and Har koi nahi bana sakta. So these are broadly the my views which I wanted to share with you, the landscape ahead of us. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your wonderful views and suggestions here. I'm sure Mohit sir and we all are taking notes of these, and we'll surely follow your suggestions and move ahead.
So
and
one thing I would like to mention, Pooja, before you introduce Salim sir. Subba sir, I think every time we hear you, there's a next milestone, and it leaves us to really take things forward, and it leaves us with a hope that yes, there is someone who's really supporting us, guiding us, mentoring us, and also, something which makes us more motivated to look at the next thing which is going to be coming up. So your guidance, your roadmaps are really helps us a lot in determining the future.
Always there for you, always there for MESC and you, Mohit.
Thank you, sir.
And I'm being of some use to you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So Pooja, I would request now if you can please introduce Salim sir, and we can have his, gracious presence to grace the occasion and provide his kind insights and inputs.
Surely, sir. It's a pleasure. So today we have with us Mr. Salim Arif Ji. He's a production designer, actor, and a guest faculty at Whistling Woods International. He is an illustrator, alumnus of NSD, New Delhi, and he is a very well-known Indian theatre and film artist. He's currently head of Department of Cultural Studies in Whistling Woods International, Mumbai, Asia's leading film school. He's been creative, he's been supporting, and he is our honorable governing council member as well. So I invite Mr. Salim Arif Ji to share his thoughts on day 2 of Manthan today. Welcome, Salim sir, on the platform of Manthan.
Thank you so much. It's actually a huge privilege for me to share the same platform with Subhash ji Saab and Subba Rao ji and Durgesh ji and Ashaq and people who are really, really, very, very important in their own contributions to the area of education and skills. I think taking a cue from Subba Raoji and Subhash ji, there are 3-4 very interesting pointers which they have kind of led the whole Manthan into. One was the cultural thrust of a course. Now, media course, normally when we associate skills with hands-on experience. But there is a heart and there is a mind which needs to be nourished. And I think arts and media needs that. Today, we need it more than at any point of time because our cultural ethos is getting distorted. The language is getting distorted. The way we converse is getting distorted. The whole shaistagi, I would say, Urdu has a very, the sophistication, the finesse of evolution of a society. That I think is also important role which media and entertainment has to play because one is talking of evolving minds. One is talking of evolving minds through education. And education then acquires a different meaning. So it is, I think, a student of, say, a university in Kashmir and a student in a university in Kerala would be looking at the media in a very different cultural perspective. And I think that rooting of that perspective is very important. We need to have a very unique voice and a unique vision into our course. And as Subba Raoji was saying, that training teachers is very important. I feel because I have been associated with several institutions in India, with NIFT and with SRFTII, FTII, National School of Drama, Bharati Hindu Academy, MP Drama School and all that. And I've been working on syllabus of some of these institutions. So the problem is that whatever syllabus we want to create, it's difficult to find appropriate teachers for that. And the need of, as Subba Raoji was pointing, it will be humongous. We will not be able to cope with the requirement of teachers if all these courses are implemented in a proper way in an institute. Let me share this with you. We did a syllabus of media studies for 10+2 few years back. We did a syllabus of theatre course 10+2, which was partly implemented, partly not, for various reasons. Now we already have that. So when you are taking a student into a graduation course in a university level, I think that media course at the 10+2 level or whatever new education program will evolve into recent times, one will have to fit in there so that there is an orientation of the student towards the course. Because a skill will be there only if one has the right orientation. Otherwise, the acquisition of skill will not be as specific for each student as it should be. We'll be again doing what Subhash was saying, churning out clones. So we need, as with the new education policy under the able leadership of Mr. Modi and the rest of the honorable, our esteemed Indian leaders who really want to give it a very different thrust, which is very important. Now, with that, where will we create the wherewithal? At a time when your final screen is going to be the mobile phone screen, whether we like it or not, 80% of our viewership will shift to that. And 80% of our skills for shooting, for creation of content, will be of these indigenous types. Long before we are not aware of that, but in states like Ladakh and Manipur, they were making films on video format and releasing it in video theaters in villages in a very small economy of 20 lakhs, 15 lakhs per film kind of a thing, which they were covering in a period of 6 months. But there was this indigenous filmmaking because they couldn't afford the labs. Now with the labs going out of equation, the film strip going out of equation, the equipment becoming cheaper, the technology becoming more accessible, the editing, Pro Tools and rest of the things are becoming very handy to use at. You can sit at your home and do a thing on your own laptop and edit a film practically. So when you are reaching a stage where the possibility of creation is increasing and becoming more accessible, we need to have a refined understanding of the medium. So whatever we do, as Subbarao-ji and SG were saying, we need to streamline the course. I think the biggest problem I face is when I go to several institutions to teach, I have to do my workshops in a way that it fits into their syllabus. So there is no standardization of, say, a production design syllabus of an X institute or a Y institute. Or if you want to do a screenwriting workshop, now it will be on my, I would say, limitation as an expert that I'll bring down the workshop to. It will not go up as it should be in a higher space of education. So I think that is important. And emphasis on local cultural elements need to be integrated into our study system. Because otherwise we'll create global citizens without any rooting, which is what the main issue is going to be with us. We are now into a global village scenario thanks to the pandemic. And this new form of teaching partly will remain. Online teaching will become a very standardized module in our teaching methodology. So this will remain. There will be a hands-on thing. There will be something which everyone can do on his or her own, which we will need to teach them. So our teaching will have to be very different than the standard of, say, the earlier cinematography class will now be adaptive. The earlier sound recording methods will need to be adapted because we are talking of a broad-based opening up possibilities of education. We are not talking of creating certain standards of, say, XYZ kind of filmmaking. We are now trying to create individuals with vision, artists with their own particular ideas. So that rooting, that nurturing needs to be there. So I would request Subbarao-ji and others who are really part of the syllabus committees and who are the vision leaders of our educational system in the country to spend a little more time with the local indigenous experts and try to see how you can get, say, Kalaripayya 2 in your physical exercises when you are doing a course in Kerala, because the experts are there. Or a Thangta in Manipur, or Yakshagana methodology in certain performing art systems. We all do that at National School of Drama, but National School of Drama is only one. And you are churning out only 25, 30 students. At what cost and to what means? Now, those things need to be evaluated. When we are talking of it, we are on a threshold. We'll all inherit a new world whenever we get into actual campuses. The whole attitude to looking at life has changed. So the culture also needs to change. The teaching methodology has to change. The systems have to change. And also one more final point I would like to make is that I think that's where Mohit and Skill, all of us come into the picture, is we need to create modules for teachers who want to come and do a refresher course, who are already teaching in universities and colleges, in performing arts, in media studies. We should have a 6-month, 3-month, 1-year module where we get in existing teachers to come and update themselves with a newer technology, newer system in place. Because somebody sitting in a remote area may not be accessible to that bit of skill or knowledge, which I think Skill Council we should all come together, and with the able leadership of like Mr. Subbarao and Subhash, it's very doable that you make a curriculum of your own where you have a bouquet of courses to offer to various institutions to upgrade the skills of trainers and to upgrade the skills of people who are already working in the field. That is, I think, also a very important area which we should seriously look at. Besides, so these were a few thoughts I had, and I thank you all for being so patient with me. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Salim sir, I should really thank you for such wonderful words, and I would really like to convey, sir, that with so much of simplicity, so much of easiness, and the way you have explained the major challenges, the major, I would say, possibilities which we can look forward for in the present scenario to evolve further and generate a new kind of an environment for education, for training, for skilling is really going to be wonderful, sir. Your words have been noted, sir, and it's a great roadmap which you have given to us, sir. We'll try to formulate a well-defined strategy around this and see if we can seek some inputs from your side to make it further stronger and then roll it out across, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for
Anytime. I'm part of the council with all of you. Anytime. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Salim sir, for the wonderful words and suggestions, and we'll surely take your guidance and move ahead in the industry and with the academia industry linkage. So now it's time for me to introduce Professor Miraj Uddin Mirji. He is Vice-Chancellor, Central University of Kashmir. He's here with us along with Dr. Ashaq Hussain Nazar. He's a nodal officer, B.Voc, Central University of University. We welcome eminent speakers from University of Kashmir here on the day 2 of Manthan.
Thank you, madam, very much. Good afternoon to all of you. And in fact, I am thankful to Media and Entertainment Sikil India for providing me an opportunity to hear Dr. Tripathi and of course express my views. Well, in fact, the National Education Policy 2020, as all of you are aware, has given a totally new direction and dimensions to the education. As it is a matter of fact, right from the very beginning, our educational system, which is one of the largest in the world, where we have a large number of the universities, no doubt about it, a large number of the colleges and schools and so on. But we have been in a fix. Everyone is raising a finger against us, those who are in higher education especially, and even other sectors of education, maybe primary and secondary. The basic reason for this is why everyone is raising a finger against us are mainly two counts. One is, what is the quality of research we are doing? And number two is that we are producing army of the graduates who in majority of the cases are not employable. Well, quality research which we are lacking has kept us at a distance so far as the global ranking of the universities is concerned. But producing army of the graduates who are not employable, majority of whom are not employable, has raised many issues so far as relevance of higher education in the country is concerned. If you travel from 1947 till date, you will find there has been a mushroom growth of the education at every sector. But at the same time, the relevance and accountability part is totally missing. And that is why everyone, every stakeholder has a right and in fact does raise a finger against us. Because we have drifted from what was required and what was inbuilt in our ancient educational system, that is hands-on or skill development, vocational development. If you are in a position to recollect this present educational system, which we have inherited from Britishers, the basic purpose of this is and was to produce Babus who can help the Britishers in their day-to-day governance. This was the only idea with which the Lord Macaulay floated this present educational system. But if you go before that, before the East India era, you will find everywhere, even if we had a limited schools, we had a limited number of the universities like Texela, Nalanda, and many others. Everywhere there was a sickle was given an importance. The result being that our produce, who were produced from those educational institutions, they used to get a job. They used to find a relevance in their system, in their locality, in their village, in their global. As Dr. Tripathi has rightly pointed out, in the present era, we have many challenges. The first and the foremost challenge was posed by the global village. That is, we have now everyone is connected. Everyone knows what is going on in the other part of the world. Number two, the challenge which has posed to us by this pandemic 19, wherein our teaching, learning methodologies have totally to undergo a change, which will suit, which will match with the challenges we are confronting. I am sure all of you are of the opinion that whenever a slogan comes from any side, from any quarter, that we should boycott Chinese goods, Chinese manufactured items. Well, the slogan goes on, we burn the items manufactured in China, but the ground reality is, you go to any village, what to talk of any town, what to talk of any city, you will find Chinese manufactured items are finding their place in every household from A to Z. What is the reason? Why so? Why we are not in a position to control this flood of items which is landing in our country from China, even against our wishes? The reason is their importance is to the skill training, their importance is to the vocational training, which they have inbuilt in their primary education. You find in China, credits are given, due weightage is given to those who engage themselves in various skill development programs, in various vocational oriented programs. And one day when they complete, they are in a position to come with small innovation in small sector. And you find in every village of China, in every town of China, every home, almost every home, every household is the manufacturer of one or the other item, which subsequently floods in the world market. Well, I think the need of the hour is, as Dr. Tripathi has rightly pointed out, we have to create wherein we have to create employable graduates who will have their skills by their expertise in various vocationals. It is a small segment of our students who turn up to be the entrepreneur in their life. The reason being, in the initial stage of their primary education, secondary education, university education, we are not in a position to orient them towards various skills. I agree with the learned speaker, Dr. Tripathi, in the present scenario, wherein we have multi-dimensional challenges ahead, and these challenges shall continue. We have to take the best advantage of this very digital media, digital norms, and try to orient our youth in various skills and other vocational aspects. Well, the new National Education Policy 2020 has tried to develop the connect between the primary education, the higher education, and it has also tried to develop a liaison, develop a strong connect between skills, between the culture, between the value system of our ancient India, which I am sure if implemented by any institution, the institution will successfully be in a position to come out of the age-old British system of education and shall be in a position to address to the needs and the aspirations of their neighborhood. By neighborhood, I mean every university is just like a town for, just like a gown for its town, that we have to provide, we have to meet the demands and the needs of the town which is around us. By town, I don't mean the neighborhood. By town, it can be the entire inverse. And with this, I am thankful once again to Media and Entertainment Skill India for providing this opportunity. And Dr. Ashaq will tell you, or Dr. Ashaq Najar will tell you, we have also started at our level a small activity known as the Design Innovation Center, where under we are trying our best to revive our old additional crafts which were in vogue in this part of India, in this part of the world. We are trying to address them, and this has been sponsored by the Ministry of Education with a good amount of funding. And we have also generated some vocational and skill-based courses, of which Dr. Ashaq is also one of the coordinators, and these are being conducted under media education, under the School of Business Studies as well as School of Education. And I must inform the audience that we have the good number of takers, and whosoever have been in a position to attend these courses, they have been found employable in the society. Thank you all. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, sir, for your kind words. And I think the way you have given the insight on the new education policy and a deep dive insight to the region, it really leaves a lot of understanding, a lot of value proposition for us also, sir. And thank you, sir, for your time. Now, may I request Dr. Ashaq Hussain Nazar to please share his insights, his views, and give us some more details about the University of Kashmir and particularly on the Design Innovation Center, if possible.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir. First of all, I would like to convey my sincere thanks to my Honorable Vice-Chancellor for giving this opportunity to be the part of this particular forum over here. And also, I would like to convey my sincere thanks to the Media and Entertainment Skill Council of India for providing this kind of opportunity to the people for the interaction on the topic importance of integration of skill education with higher education system in India. So let me talk about first our own university, Central University of Kashmir. In our university, we are running courses like BVOC in Hospitality and Tourism Management, and we are also running BVOC in Retail and Logistic Management. Apart from these two vocational courses, we are having design. We have been assigned, I would say, separate center within the university by the Ministry of Human Resource, now Ministry of Education. They have given us one of the important center, that is Design Innovation Center. Under this innovation center, we are running almost 8 courses. All the 8 courses are quite linked with the local, I would say, this local area over here. Like we are trying to revive the local cuisine. We are trying to revive the local, arts and local handicrafts. Or we are in different kinds of, I would say, these skills which were due to this, with the help of this innovation, we are able to revive all those these arts and these skills over here. So coming back to the topic, like importance of integration of skill education with higher education. So let me share some experience from this particular university with regard to the vocational education from the day one till today. So we started these vocational course in 2017. So while starting these courses, we got to know that these courses are altogether different from a general or formal course like BA courses or like BSc courses. So in these courses, we are having a lot of opportunities to the students to go to the industry in every semester. So let me talk about the BVOC course. In BVOC courses, we are having a very good opportunity for our students to go to the industry, because due to that particular kind of atmosphere and particular kind of, I would say, exposure, students come forward for taking these courses. We are able to develop these small skill. We are able to develop this kind of entrepreneurship, or we can say we are able to develop small scale industries with the help of this skill education. and it also helps us to have to enhance the gross enrollment ratio in the one of the important point for these dropouts, because there are a lot of people who either drop out the education because one or another reason. So this vocational education or skill-oriented courses help us to provide them admission again and create their, I would say, these particular parallel line with the formal education. And once this particular course is completed by these students, there are always takers in the industry. The main beauty of this vocational education or these skill courses is that there is the proper academia and inter-industry interface. Due to that proper academia and inter-industry interface, we do not face any kind of problem in the placement of the students once they finish their courses. So if we talk about this course run over here, we are having very, very good takers, as pointed by Honorable Vice-Chancellor. We are having very good takers for this course. And all the students got very good placements after completing these degrees. And one more important point I want to quote over here is that vocational education is more attractive than the normal or formal education. Do you know why? Because in this particular course or in this particular education, there is the industry orientation, there is the practical orientation. People love to involve themselves in the practical part. And one more important point is, for a student, if we provide him a small, meager amount during his study, he feels quite interested and he feels quite oriented towards that course. So due to that, what they do, the students get small stipend during their industrial training or during their internships, on-the-job trainings. Due to that, they get more and more interest towards it, and they feel that they are the takers of this particular course after completing this course. So one student they feel content that we are at least will be having some job or placements after this course. This is one of the important beauty. Another beauty, what I found in the vocational education is that it is very important for grooming the students and to create a professional, I would say, professionals for a particular trade. Due to this vocational education, there is less pressure on the, I would say, placements of other areas, because once a good chunk of students get placed in the vocational education, automatically it will be having less impact on the other sectors over here. So now coming towards some issues which we found during this particular vocational education, that the first important issue which I found over here is that the sector skill councils are quite linked with this particular examination evaluation part. Board of Studies, they are helping us in curriculum development. But one thing which I pointed out in the sector skill councils is that they do not take evaluations as serious. Do you know what is their mechanism? In their respective mechanism, they send people from the local area, go and conduct their examination. And those people who come for the examination, they are not from the background. They are not from the particular trade. They come and conduct. Sometimes I have raised this point with my number of times with the National Skill Development Corporation as well as the Sector Skill Council, that this kind of pattern should be either changed but recently what we have seen the guidelines, UGC has given us mandate that you can have your own skill assessment boards within the university. Due to those skill assessment boards, you can, so at least that kind of opportunity has opened a door for the industry academia interface again. We can invite people from the industry, then academia, then they conduct the examination. So we find that that kind of evaluation is better than this sector skill evaluation over there. And one more important point is that, very important point, which I really found is one of the important in beauty of the vocational education, that is recognition of the previous learning. So the previous learning may be either in the form of experience, it may be in the form of, I would say, some kind of diploma. So with having this opportunity of multiple exit opportunity in this vocational education, due to that particular point, we are able to recognize the previous learnings. There are people in the industry who do not have qualification of this particular trade, but they are good in that skilling part of that particular trade. Due to this vocational education system, we are able to recognize their previous learning, and we are able to accredit, or we can say certify those people for this particular kind of this trade or particular kind of this this knowledge or skill. One more important point is that this particular trade, this particular vocational education is having a lot of importance in the employment generation as well as the in entrepreneurship development, because we are able. There are a lot of students in our final years who are right now ready to go for entrepreneurship. They feel that kind of, I would say, possibilities in the vocational studies. So it is this kind of, I would say, atmosphere, or this kind of exposure in the students with regard to the entrepreneurship got to know because of this particular vocational education. And one more important thing is that Prime Minister of India has launched that Bharat Atmanirbhar this Yojana. That kind of, I would say, we are able to get self-reliant with the help of this vocational education. So we must say that vocational education is one of the important part of this education system in the higher education, which is having a lot of possibilities for our youth, for the local community, for the local development, for the economy development. So one more important point which I want to share is that we are getting a lot of opportunities with the help of vocational education in the innovations. We will be, once the student is practically oriented, so automatically he is more and more inclined towards the innovations. So once more innovations will be there, more patents will be there, automatically will be self-reliant and will be able to develop and produce these own country product over here, and will not be reliable for other countries for the particular product. So will be self-reliant for that particular product. So these are certain points which I have found and which I have experienced during my this journey of vocational education over here in the university. And we are working on the innovation part of this particular education. Like we are having design innovation cell. We are not only teaching students the skill part in that particular innovation cell. What we are trying to develop new products and register patents on the name of university over there in the Patent Authority of India, because with the help of this design innovation cell. So due to this COVID and due to these some other thing, we got little bit, I would say, there was a little bit impact on our education, but I hope in coming future we'll be gaining momentum in delivering the output for the students. With all this, I thank you for this opportunity that we are able to discuss something with regard to the vocational education system in the higher education system. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Nazar, and wonderful hearing you. And I really congratulate you for this Design Innovation Center. I think that's a role model which, if every university adopts, it will not just correlate it with the industry quickly, but will also create something which you said the right word, the creative entrepreneurs or the entrepreneurs for tomorrow. I think that's a great strategy, sir, and I really congratulate you for. While talking on your some of the pointers which you mentioned, such as examination pattern, RPL, Atmanirbhar Bharat, and other such initiatives related to innovation, I would say as a sector scale council, we will be more than happy, sir, to see we can closely work with you and your university to see how we can probably devise these methodologies, implement it better, and make it something more significant, more important, more learnable for every aspirant who takes it forward, sir. I think that's a great insight, sir, you shared. And thank you for your time today, sir. It was great hearing you. So, Pooja, over to you, Dr. Tripathi, and we can have his insights.
Thank you so much, sir. And here I'm loving to introduce Dr. Durgesh Tripathi ji. He is founding faculty member, University School of Mass Communication at Guru Gobind Singh, Indraprastha University in Delhi. So let's hear his views. So we welcome you, Dr. Tripathi, on Manthan.
Thank you. Thank you. First of all, I'd like to thank you, Mr. Mohit Soni ji, who is the CEO of Media and Entertainment Skills Council, and other organizing committee, other members of the organizing committee. Definitely, I can say it's a virtual Manthan will be the best way forward to achieve our goal related with the Atmanirbhar Bharat and to generate maximum employability in our society, in our country. Especially we have listened so many eminent speakers like Subhash Ghai ji, who is a great showman of our country, Mr. Subba ji, who emphasizes on how to reach maximum students to involve with the media and entertainment cycles councils offered diploma courses, certificate courses, or a degree courses for their betterment of their future. Whereas Mr. Salim Arif ji, who stressed upon the art and culture and how can we engage more and more faculty members of media professionals or other streams, we can say, how can we attract, how can we involve maximum of the faculty members towards the capacity building related with the media and entertainment skills council related activities, courses, or modules. Whereas Professor Mir sir, who is a Honorable Vice-Chancellor of Central University of Kashmir, who has associated with Central University of Kashmir to design innovation center for the rural development, and he stressed upon the digital youth and media and how can we use this type of activities for the upliftment of the rural youth. Whereas Dr. Ashaq Najar, who is heading the department related with the vocational training, and he stressed on various things related with the how to develop our rural area, rural system, or villages for the betterment of the society, and how can they contribute best of the efforts for the nation building. He also discussed about the Atmanirbhar and other skill development related activities. But I would like to thank you again to Media and Entertainment and Skill Council and Mr. Mohit Soni ji. I am aware that Media and Entertainment Skill Council has developed so many capsules, so many modules for the development of the youth and students. And I am the national coordinator of a program which is running on the Swayam MOOCs, Ministry of Human Resource Development, named Society and Media, who has accredited by international independent agencies in top 100, world's top 100 online course by Class Central. I'm also the coordinator of MOOC of our university, massive open online course. And I found that I have gone through the various basic understanding related with the new education policy 2020. And I found that in near future, we will abide to develop our basic understanding and knowledge for the benefit of the society, for the benefit of nation, with the use of digital education, online education, and we can say blended kind of teaching and learning process. We know India has very distinct kind of geoclimatic and geopolitical situation. We cannot compare the student of a northeastern part of our country or a J&K to the Delhi-based student. Or we cannot compare the teaching ability, knowledge, understanding of a professor of a Delhi to the northeastern part of the faculty members. Both have their distinct identity, kind of understanding, kind of knowledge, kind of exposure. But I look forward that Media and Entertainment Skill Council will look forward and to do something new and to develop some online courses, online modules related with the media and entertainment related activities. As I am the faculty, I am the founding faculty of Guru Gobind Singh, Indraprastha University, New Delhi. We have more than 155 affiliated colleges in Delhi and NCR, in which we have 13 colleges. 13 colleges, they are running the journalism and mass media courses. And we have more than thousands of graduate students of mass communication in Delhi and NCR in our affiliated colleges, as well as we have offered in masters in our campus in Dwarka campus in New Delhi. After that, we would like to discuss my formal and to interact and to express my basic understanding about this panel discussion that you have invited me. And I feel privileged to be part of this very prestigious virtual Manthan of this point and topic related with the importance of integrating skill-oriented and apprenticeship embedded media and entertainment programs in higher education, who is the need of our. And every student wants to engage and wants to learn various topics, various skill related with this kind of understanding. And COVID-19 is unique as it was perceived as only a public health emergency in the beginning, but it has brought paradigm shifts in the way we live and conduct our normal lives. It has also brought significant changes in we consume our media and the content per se. These changes will persist even after the crisis will be over and will have an impact on the overall face of the media and entertainment industry. Who would have imagined that the movies of the biggest film stars will be releasing on the OTT platforms and will fetch revenues, whereas box office collections would remain dry? Both industry and academia needs to prepare for the significant shifts and prepare the Gen Z for the upcoming digital collaborative culture with a focus on skill-based learning and not just confined to the theoretical aspects of the media and communication theories. According to a report titled COVID-19, the many states of a crisis by KPMG, the media and entertainment industry in India is estimated to be 1,631 billion rupees in 2019 and showcased an annual compounded growth of 11.5% between 2015 to 2019, which suppressed the country's average GDP growth of 7.2% in the same period. But with the COVID-19 proving a disruption, there are certain sectors of the media and entertainment industry that received a huge impetus as we sat at home during the lockdown, whereas others suffered great losses. Sectors that saw great demand and rise were television, OTT, digital, and gaming, whereas outdoor entertainment options like films, theme parks, events saw an unprecedented downfall, leading to the feeling of bankruptcy and job losses. It was due to the lockdown, fear of the virus, and social distancing norms. It is unique to understand that while television had no new content to show, yet television showed a rise and Mahabharata even topped the TRP. The Mahabharata and Ramayana, we can say, and charts during the lockdown period, and public broadcaster was in great demand. People were glued to the news channels to keep themselves updated about the happenings, but there was a dip in the advertising revenues for the channels. While there were no new film releases and no footfalls in the cinema halls, the film industry suffered huge losses, but the audiences were kept entertained by the OTT platforms like G5, Netflix, Alt Balaji, with many of them producing content across languages. OTT assumption in the period saw a rise in the consumption across devices, demographics, and duration. They offered extended free subscription for habit formation. According to an estimate, India's OTT platforms revenues in 2019 were around 173 billion rupees. We can manage, we can understand the power of the digital platforms, power of the OTT platforms. And animation and VFX were in a great demand as the entire learning process shifted to online modes. Blended kind of learning has been emerged to attract and to engage with the learners towards the scholars and the students of our country, of our universities, of our institutions. And to give you an example of the scope of the Indian education landscape, Government of India's MOOCs course through Swayam platform, which is India's national massive open online course platform, offers over 2,150 courses taught by close to 1,300 instructors from over 135 Indian universities. And I am fortunate that I am the course coordinator of a course, Society and Media, which is running in the second time on the Swayam platform. It's the name Society and Media. Then we can understand the power of the digital education and digital platforms in nowadays. According to estimate, India's education technology industry will reach $10 billion by 2025 with 37 million paid users, and showcases the scope for the contribution of the entertainment industry in making content for the digital natives and provide them with the edutainment, we can say. And I have already requested to Mr. Soni that please offer some of the courses on the Swayam platform, some of the media and entertainment courses on in the blended kind of a understanding and learning process on the various platforms. In your platform, you can offer and to engage the learners from all over country, and you can attract the some of the learners from the international platforms as well. And I would like to conclude by saying that National Education Policy 2020 is a new approach to education that is trying to break the strict watertight compartments of commerce, humanities, science, and envisions to create multidisciplinary universities across India. Thus, there is an imminent need to understand the horizons and possibilities that the media and entertainment industry of India has to offer and supply the workforce which is technology ready and work ready for the future. And at last, I would like to say that the media and entertainment industry of India has contributed to the enriching of the social fabric of the nation and promotes the idea of India's soft power internationally. Thus, it is high time that the skills gap be reduced and the workforce is trained according to the industry standards. And I am very fortunate towards the Media and Entertainment Skill Council of India. And you may contribute, you may attract the youth of our country. And thank you again for inviting me. Thank you again that you have requested me to share a eminent, or we can say the stalwart of our film industry. We are the big fan of Subhash Ghai ji, and we are fortunate to be in the part of their panel discussion. Thank you again, Soni ji, and we look forward to do more and more for the skill development, skill and media entertainment related modules for the development, and to attract and to engage our Guru Gobind Singh Indraprastha universities, institutions, affiliated college, students and faculty members for a Mahayag of the Pradhan Mantri's Atmanirbhar Abhiyan. Thank you all.
Thanks a lot, Dr. Tripathi, and it was a very valuable insight, particularly knowing about MOLC and SWAYAM is always a great initiative, and I really appreciate it. We would look forward, Dr. Tripathi, to seek some support, some help from you on how we can probably incorporate our online training modules in SWAYAM. It will be a great platform for us as well to take it forward and reach to masses. While mentioning that,
I beg your pardon, Mr. Soni. If you want to engage my colleges for their towards their certificate courses or a diploma courses, we can invite a joint meeting on a virtual platform of our affiliated college and institutions of our affiliated college to engage with your media and entertainment skill council, if you want to.
Dr. Tripathi, you have just actually, mentioned about the request, which I was just about to make you align after you spoke before. I think it's a great request which we wanted to make you, sir, that if you can introduce us to the network of all our affiliated colleges, we would love to have a session exclusively for them to see not just those colleges who are already running mass communication and journalism, but also the other network of colleges where we can talk to them, we can update them on the new happenings in the M&E sector. And I'm very sure that with the presentation Chaitanya has to present now, we would get a much deeper insight as to what we feel the industry is really looking forward for, how this entire system can be relooked at, revisited, and also the possibilities of how the support can be extended. What model of education should we look at? I'm sure the presentation which Chaitanya will share with us will give us more detailed scope to discuss it, sir, and probably see various possibilities of association we can take it forward. So Chaitanya, excited to have you back, and if you can quickly have your insights, your views, and you can probably take us in more detail about. Yep, thank you.
Sure. I'm just going to share my screen. Right. So, hello, good afternoon now, everybody. So essentially what I wanted to talk to you about is about the media and entertainment industry. Where is it right now? Where is it likely to go? Where is it coming from? And what are the issues and what are the solutions that we believe should happen, and what Whistling Woods has done about it in the past, right? So if you look at, education in India, it sits under specialized ministries, and there is MHRD and now MOE, which manages it. But if you look at the way that, it is structured, you have, for example, there are several kinds of education which are very, very specific to particular industries, and hence they are governed by particular ministries. So medical education, which sits under the MCI, now the NMC, National Medical Council, which sits under the Health Ministry. Law is under the Bar Council of India, which is under the Law Ministry. Chartered Accountancies, ICAI, Finance Ministry. So these are all subject matter expertise. Same thing with film, media and entertainment education. And film, media and entertainment education sits under the INB Ministry. Unfortunately, unlike these ministries which have specific bodies to govern education, there isn't a common governing body here, and hence there isn't a common framework, right? So for example, in the case of medical education, you have MBBS, then you have an internship, there's MD, there's MS, which has internships in between. The same is followed by both government institutions and private institutions. Same thing with law. But here, unfortunately, you don't have that framework. So essentially what has happened is that there is no, media and entertainment education has been living under this lack of framework. Now, can you imagine a scenario where medical education or law education did not have a framework in India? They've been a complete total mess, right? So what successive governments have done in the past is they've set up academically autonomous but government funded institutions without any overarching educational policy. So there is no multi-level structure, there is no undergrad, postgraduate, doctoral education, there is no norm. So it's left no scope for private institutions to get into the M&E education. Hence, media and entertainment education has never been mainstreamed. It has always remained under the extracurricular, side में, अच्छा ठीक है तुम main पढ़ाई करो और side में art करो या side में dance करो, side में music करो. That's unfortunate. That's our, like Subhash said, the Macaulay structure of education to essentially create clerks for the British government. But anyway, so what this has led to is this has led to an unprecedented situation where a country which has a 107-year-old film industry is not a global force in film education. There is, every single other large country which is, which has a big industry is also a global force of education in that industry. France and Italy are known for design and fashion. They have some of the world's best fashion and design schools. USA is known for film. They have some of the world's best film schools. Germany is known for engineering and innovation. They have some of the world's best engineering and innovation institutions. India's got a film industry, but we don't have a film education superpower, right? Which is just sad because 100+ years is a lot of time. We should have built up a repertoire by now. But because there is no mainstreaming of M&E education, we have never been able to bring out the large private institutions that are needed. What it has also caused is it's called fragmentation of the industry. So animation, VFX, gaming have gone, have kind of sit under the technical umbrella and have gone into the ITES and kind of, gone and down that route. Whereas animation, VFX, gaming are very much creative and narrative aspects, right? Some of the fine arts have gone and sat under the BA umbrella. Whereas, in BA, it's not only arts, there is also technology, there is also application involved. So, this fragmentation is also a problem. We're a global player in science, technology, pharma, space exploration, but not in the creative arts. Right? We have just squandered our opportunity to become a global force of film education. We have no globally recognized media development labs. We have hardly conducted any research and development in the field. I mean, the Natya Shastra is as old and rich as the Greek form of storytelling, but we have not taken it to the world, right? The whole world knows the 3-act structure of filmmaking, but a lot of our epics, a lot of what is there in the Natya Shastra talks of the 5-act structure of storytelling. Most of our epics and stories have 5 acts. Where do you take that? That has not been codified. You need to codify it, structure it. So you can take this form of storytelling, this structure of screenwriting out to the world and, show the people how stories are told in the 5-act structure. A lot of the problem that exists in the industry, which is that the percentage of formally trained people is less than 15%, is because we don't have mainstreamed education. We have 18% of the world's population, 12% of the world's economy, but less than 2% of the world's media and entertainment industry. That's just sad. That's unfortunate, right? 70% of Hollywood's money comes from outside the US. Only 10% of our money comes from outside. So we need to create content that reaches out across cultures to the rest of the world in a universally acceptable manner. Bahubali, Lunchbox, Dangal, 3 Idiots, these are some films that have gone global. But these are outliers. This is not the normal. A typical Indian film does not release in more than 15 or 16, 18 countries. We need films to release in 150, 160 countries. And that's really what we should aim at. We keep thinking that a lot of non-Indians watch our films. Actually, they don't, right? 85% of our viewership that comes from outside India is still diaspora viewers. They're still from the Indian diaspora. And that's something that we really, really need to, change. So this is India's film education scenario. 130 crore people against 30 crore in the US. We make 1800 plus films. They make 450 plus films. They have 150 to 160 world-class film schools. We have just 4 or 5. They graduate 15,000 film and media professionals every year. For us, it's just 300 to 500. And out of these 300 to 500, 300 approximately come from Whistling Woods. So imagine before Whistling Woods, we used to hardly graduate 150, 200 filmmakers a year, which is kind of pathetic because Look at the number of films we make. Look at the population, right? Does this seem like a decent ratio? So the solution is to mainstream film, media, and creative arts education. So you need to set up either a film and media education council is set up, or the MESC is empowered to play that role. The MESC needs to play the role that the NMC or the Bar Council of India play in those ministries. You have to mainstream degrees offering specialized output-based education. So with 4-year undergrad, 2-year postgrad, and doctorate programs, right? So once you've been able to build out this structure, then you will be able to mainstream education. It has to be by the industry, made up of the industry, for the industry. That's the first step. Bring the industry in so we know what is the current education needed, and we can also then set up emerging media technology development labs to look at what is needed for the future. The third thing, and this will take a longer time, is to ensure that foundational education in film and media and creative arts is delivered at the high school level. Right now at the high school level, physics, chemistry, biology, maths, history, geography are paid utmost attention. But, you know, if you leave the few IB schools aside, a lot of the other schools treat art, craft, sports as extracurricular, which is just sad because, you know, honestly, a student needs communication skills more than he or she needs to understand physics. Even if they want to become a physicist, they still need to understand communication skills as much as they need to understand physics, right? So it's very, very important for students to understand narratology, storytelling. You know, you may be making the most boring presentation, but if you're able to tell it, if you're able to make it in an interesting manner, you will be able to reach out to more people. And this is something that we really need to convey. So now that I've spoken about the solution, what I want to just quickly do is talk about what Whistling Woods has been doing over the last few years, right? So we've been rated as one of the 10 best film schools in the world now by THR, Global Institute of Influence by Forbes. We've launched many applied arts programs in filmmaking, acting, and music. We've pioneered it in India. We've pioneered many kinds of education in India. Several technology development labs, several alumni working in the industry. This is our academic structure where we are running undergrad and postgrad programs in partnership with university now, and we're looking at taking this pan-India. So what I wanted to talk to you about is that we already have this structure. We have built it, it exists, it's working really well. We have thousands of students who graduated from it. They're working across the world. And we are now looking at taking this structure pan-India. So we currently work with one university, which is the Tata Institute of Social Sciences, which is restricted to Mumbai, Maharashtra. But we are looking at taking this global. We're looking at taking this pan-India. Our next expansion step is to take this in other parts of the country. So we're looking to partner with other institutions and other universities who are also keen on expanding their scope. So if this is something that interests you, more than happy to talk to you about. This is just a snapshot of where our alumni work. Some of our tech partners. So mainstreaming and upskilling of the M&A industry is possible. You have to create an appropriate structure of long-term education, and you have to do it keeping in mind the unique nature of the industry and its education. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chaitanya sir, for the lovely presentation. It's been very, very knowledgeable always. And with this, I wish to thank all the eminent panelists for making the day 2 of Manthan a great success. Listening it from our chairman, sir, Mr. Subhash Ghai, has always been very, very motivating as he's a guiding force. And thank you so much, sir, for your thoughts. Our guide, Mr. Subba Rauji, Salim Arif, sir, you always take us forward, and always we are learning, and we are just following the suggestions that you guys are giving us. Professor Uddin Mirji and Dr. Ashaq Hussain ji from University of Kashmir, Dr. Durgesh Tripathi ji, Mr. Murlidhar Namibar ji from Kerala. He has also joined, but unfortunately due to some internet issue, the technical issue, he could not stay connected for long. And of course, Chaitanya ji has always been amazing with the Media and Entertainment Skills Council, and especially he's gracing the occasion of Manthan. Thank you, Mohit sir, for moderating the session so well. As what I have been learning from all of you eminent speakers, that media and entertainment sector has a spark that's never going to fade, and especially when we have honorable speakers like you, we are surely going to reach the cloud9. So before we close the session today, I would like to thank everyone again and inform you about the day 3 of Manthan is going to be November 20th at 11:30 a.m. with, again, Vice-Chancellors and Chancellors of universities and eminent speakers of industry. Also, our chairman, sir, Mr. Subhash Ghai ji, will be leading the session. Year comes to an end, and as Diwali is just around the corner, on behalf of Media and Entertainment Skills Council, I wish to express my wishes and blessings and all the good vibes towards all the university leaders and everybody around watching us. Thank you for the lovely audience. And until we meet next, follow us on social media pages and stay connected. Take care, stay safe, and happy Diwali again.
Thank you. Thank you, Salim sir. Thank you, Tripathi sir. Thank you, Dr. Nazar, and everyone who has always been supporting our honorable chairman, Subhash ji, Subba Rao sir, Chaitanya, Venkateshwarlu sir, Miraj, Uddin sir, Ashaq, Nazar sir, Durgesh Tripathi ji, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Take care.
Thank you.
And wish you all a very happy